This is why you don't remember what you read. You can read for hours, turn the last page, close the app, and realize something disturbing. Almost nothing stayed. Not because you are lazy, not because you are unintelligent, and not because your brain is broken. The real reason is far more uncomfortable. Most people never actually process what they read. They mistake seeing words for understanding ideas, and their brain quietly throws the information away the moment it decides it's useless. If you've ever reread the same paragraph 5 times, nodded along, and still couldn't explain it to someone else, this video will change how you read forever. The brain does not care about information. Your brain is not designed to store information. It is designed to protect energy. Every second, it filters reality aggressively, asking one question over and over again. Is this necessary for survival or action? When the answer is no, the information is discarded without hesitation. This is why you can remember a painful argument from 5 years ago, but forget what you read yesterday. Emotional relevance and meaning determine memory, not effort. Reading without meaning is treated by the brain the same way background noise is treated. It passes through you and disappears. Perception comes before memory. Nothing enters memory unless it is first perceived properly. Perception is not eyesight, it is interpretation. When you read words without actively assigning meaning to them, your brain never flags the information as important. The words exist only at the surface level. They do not interact with your existing knowledge, your beliefs, or your internal models of the world. Without that interaction, the brain sees no reason to keep them. Memory is not created by repetition alone. It is created by connection. Why reading feels active but is often passive. Reading feels like work, so the brain rewards you with a sense of productivity. But feeling productive is not the same as learning. Passive reading allows the eyes to move and the mind to drift while creating the illusion of understanding. You recognize words, you follow sentences, and everything feels familiar. But familiarity is not comprehension. The brain confuses recognition with mastery, and once that happens, it shuts down deeper processing. This is why rereading feels easier, but makes you remember less. Information must change you to stay with you. The brain remembers what alters your internal state. If new information does not challenge something you believe, answer a question you care about, or create a mental problem that needs resolving, it is marked as low value. Memory is not storage. It is transformation. The reason stories are remembered better than facts is not because they are entertaining, but because they force the brain to simulate experiences. When reading does not force simulation, it fades. The role of attention is misunderstood. Most people think they lack focus. In reality, they lack intention. Attention is not something you summon by force. It is something the brain allocates when it senses relevance. If you start reading without a clear internal question, your brain does not know what to look for. It scans instead of engaging. But when you read while actively searching for answers, contradictions, or explanations, attention sharpens automatically. The brain becomes involved because it now has a task. Why speed reading destroys understanding. Speed reading teaches the eyes to move faster, not the mind to think deeper. When information enters faster than it can be processed, comprehension collapses. The brain begins prioritizing completion over meaning. This creates shallow memory traces that disappear quickly. True understanding requires friction, pauses, mental resistance. If reading feels smooth and effortless all the time, you are likely not processing deeply enough to retain anything meaningful. The brain learns through active struggle. Understanding is built during moments of confusion, not clarity. When you struggle to explain an idea in your own words, the brain is forced to reorganize information. This reorganization strengthens neural connections. When everything feels obvious, nothing is being built. The brain needs effortful engagement to justify long-term storage. This is why teaching what you read, even silently to yourself, dramatically increases retention. Why most notes are useless. Writing down what you read word for word feels productive, but achieves almost nothing. Transcription does not equal comprehension. The brain offloads responsibility to the notebook and stops processing. Effective note-taking forces interpretation, not copying. When you rewrite ideas in simpler language or relate them to something you already know, you force meaning creation. Without this step, notes become a graveyard of forgotten information. Memory is built on association. The brain stores information by linking it to existing structures. New ideas that float alone are fragile and easily lost. But when information is attached to personal experiences, previous knowledge, or real-world implications, it becomes stable. This is why abstract reading is difficult. The brain prefers concrete anchors. The more associations you build, the stronger the memory becomes. Why distraction erases learning. Every time your attention breaks, the brain resets context. When you check your phone mid-reading, you are not resuming the same mental state. You are starting over. Context switching prevents information from forming coherent mental structures. Learning requires continuity. Without it, the brain fragments the material and discards it as noise. Multitasking is not just inefficient, it actively sabotages comprehension. The difference between knowing and understanding. Knowing is recognizing information. Understanding is being able to predict, apply, and explain it. The brain only respects understanding. Recognition fades quickly because it does not alter your mental models. When you truly understand something, it changes how you see related ideas. That change is what memory is built on. If reading does not change how you think, it will not change what you remember. How to read. So the brain cannot ignore it. You must read as if you will be questioned immediately afterward. This forces active processing. Ask yourself what the author is trying to convince you of, what assumptions they are making, and what would happen if the idea were false. This creates cognitive tension, and tension demands resolution. The brain stays engaged because it senses unfinished business. Information tied to unresolved questions is far more likely to be remembered. Why rereading feels safe, but fails. Rereading reduces effort, which the brain loves, but low effort leads to low encoding. Each reread feels familiar, creating false confidence, but familiarity does not strengthen memory. Retrieval does. Forcing yourself to recall ideas without looking builds durable memory pathways. The discomfort you feel during recall is a sign of learning happening, not failure. Understanding is a skill, not a talent. People who remember everything they read are not gifted. They engage differently. They slow down, question aggressively, and mentally wrestle with ideas. They allow confusion instead of avoiding it. They read to change their thinking, not to finish pages. This approach turns reading into a dialogue instead of a performance. Final reality check. If you forget what you read, it does not mean you are incapable. It means your brain was unconvinced the information mattered. Once you learn how to give information meaning, relevance, and structure, forgetting becomes the exception, not the rule. Reading stops being consumption and becomes construction. And once that happens, your mind no longer lets valuable ideas slip away.